Good morning, this is Jeff, Sewer Tech Northwest. Today we're at 10705 Southeast Marilyn Court here in Happy Valley. So we're located kind of on the, it's kind of hard to describe because the way this house is shaped. We're kind of at the front left side of the house here, I suppose. Inside the shed, we have a 4-inch ABS cleanout. We're going to insert the camera and check the overall condition and serviceability of the sanitary sewer line. Currently have water running, and we just zeroed out the foot counter there at the bottom of the cleanout. Off we go. Made a transition there to PVC pipe, 4-inch pipe, and then now to, looks like 6-inch concrete. Ooh, a nice short sewer line. Looks like you've got a main lateral easement scenario here on the right side of the property. That's if you look at the front of the house from the street. So we're going to let the whole line drain out here for a moment while we go locate the terminus. We'll have another view of everything when we come back. As far as flow goes, the line has good flow to the main lateral, but we'll check the condition of the line here once it's drained. Alrighty, we located the camera heads successfully here. The line terminates here on the left side of the property. Again, that's if you're looking at the front of the home from the street. The line's pretty much doing a straight shot out the side. So the only thing I would suggest is just making sure that there's proper easement documentation. There should be an easement for the main to run through the property here. And sometimes it's not actually on this property, it's the neighbors, but I would just look into it. I'm just giving the line a second here just to completely drain. There's a spot about 10 feet from us in the concrete. I can't tell if the water is just kind of moving over the top of a little bit of debris, but we still have some water moving through the pipe here. I'll push back out to it real quick and show you what I'm talking about. If it's even still going on, it almost looked like water was percolating up through the bottom of the pipe. Yeah, right here is the spot I'm referring to. When you pull back here, there's a little bit of water that's just slowly making its way through. That water right there would appear to be coming up through the bottom of the pipe. You can see how it's shooting straight up into the air. I've tried to run my camera over the top of it here just to see if I can move some stuff around. Sometimes water goes over the top, but every time I come back, it's the exact same thing. It looks like there's like 3 or 4 tiny little holes in the bottom of the pipe there. Anyway, we'll test this out here one more time. This isn't something that's really affecting functionality at this point, but it can over time. I'll check this out one more time here. So we're back here. You can see the amount of water that's in the pipe right now. I mean, it's barely anything is going through the line, and it's moving extremely slow. The line is totally drained out at this point. That's just a little bit of remnants of water that's just kind of making its way through. There's a couple white squiggly lines there on the side of the pipe, which feasibly could be cracks. I'm kind of looking at the left side and top left corner of the screen right now. Unfortunately, my camera does not get right up close to them, the angle that we come into here. But at this point, the line is, I mean, for all intents and purposes, is completely drained out. And that water is still it's moving at a much higher rate of speed, and you've got far more water flowing up here. So that does appear to actually, it looks like there's a crack or hole in the bottom of the pipe there that's letting groundwater seep up into the sewer line. You've also got a earthworm crawling around there on the sidewall of the pipe. So, and I don't know that that little worm weaseled its way through that. What I would recommend here, I'll get this mapped out and located, but you've got at least a pipe joint that is separated, letting, obviously, earthworms come into the sewer line. You've also got a hole, or a couple holes in the bottom of the pipe that's letting groundwater seep up into the sewer line. If I were to be doing a repair on this, because it's concrete, concrete does not last nearly as long as other pipe materials. And that joint there, you can see the water staining coming down from the pipe joint. That dark staining on the sidewall, that's where groundwater is seeping in. So it would appear you've got multiple pipe joints in the concrete, and a combination of that and cracks or holes. I'd recommend an update to the entire concrete section of the sewer line at this point. Enough of the concrete pipe is showing signs of being open to the ground. I wouldn't recommend spot repairing just those spots. I would update the whole concrete section, which in the world of repairs, this is not a humongous section of pipe here. Your line is, most repairs I recommend are longer than this sewer line is in totality. So we're going to mark each end of it as best we can. And that water, again, still shooting up through the bottom of the pipe there. That's not water coming from inside the house. I'll try and mark and locate both ends. I would look into a trenchless epoxy liner. You don't have to dig for that. If this line ends up being on the shallow end, you might be able to just trench it up. But I would look into the epoxy liner. You don't have to dig. That's the beauty of it. I had to pull the camera back a little bit while the monitor was paused. By the time I reached the main there, it looks like it's beyond the property line where I can't get to properly. So I've marked everything up to, or as far as I can, right as the line goes under some arborvitae. I stopped just 3 or 4 feet short. But I would recommend the entire section be updated, and they're about 16 feet. I'm getting a depth of almost 9 feet deep, so I would highly recommend looking into the epoxy liner. If it was only a 2 or 3 foot deep sewer line, I'd probably tell you to just simply do a traditional excavation. At 9 feet deep, though, that's a very large hole to dig and a rather expensive one. I think the liner may end up saving you money in this circumstance. And the concrete pipe here starts right at the corner of the shed. It might be just slightly underneath it. It's so close to it, though, I can't get directly on top of it. But it's basically right at the corner of the shed. And I put a white X marking down there. I recommend from here at essentially 9 feet out to 22 feet, a full update. We've got multiple joints in the pipe that are compromised, as well as a crack or hole in the bottom of the pipe that's allowing groundwater to seep in. After any repairs are done, I highly recommend rescoping the sewer line to check the repair work. Again, at this time, those issues are not affecting flow. They're letting groundwater and whatnot in, which in the short term does not really affect functionality. Over time, though, if joints are allowing enough dirt and groundwater to come in, it can cause hydro erosion, cause the line to settle, the joints to open up, and then that hole in the bottom of the pipe slowly but surely will open the bottom of the pipe up and turn into a big gaping hole down the road and let your sewage escape. Right now, it's very unlikely sewage is escaping the sewer line, but you've got hydraulic pressure outside the line that's forcing stuff into it. So if repairs are not done right now, I would recommend rescoping the sewer line frequently to keep an eye on things. Those compromised pieces of pipe, though, too, also make your line more susceptible to root intrusions coming in because those joints and the hole are open to the ground. But after any repairs are done, make sure a rescope is done to check the work. But the line right now is functioning properly in regards of conveying sewage from point A to point B. It is not functioning in regards of being a watertight sewer line any longer, at least from 9 feet to 22 feet.